Hello and welcome. I'm Sophia Lucia Perola with Garden State Film Festival. It is the 22nd annual Garden State Film Festival from March 21st through March 24th in Asbury Park, New Jersey and Cranford, New Jersey. You can check out various different films, 200 films this year coming from 14 countries. It's going to be a great year. And one of the films you can check out is this really amazing beautiful homegrown short film called Courage. Here to talk with me about this film is filmmaker Ryan Gomes. He was writer, director, and producer on this film. Ryan, thank you for joining me and congratulations.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. I'm excited to talk to you about directing and making this film. But before we get into it, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Ryan Gomes. I originally came from Rhode Island and then moved to Los Angeles after graduating my undergraduate program. But I was fortunate enough to make Courage in New Jersey, where I got my MFA from. And I recently graduated from Fairleigh Dickinson University, and I'm just excited for Courage to go through the festival circuit and for more people to see it.
Oh, me too. I'm really excited for our Garden State Film Festival audience to see this film. And tell us a little bit about Courage.
Yeah, so this film is about Luke, a 8-year-old boy who he's struggling with kind of housing insecurity, and he doesn't know. Um, he has a naive view of the world, or really an innocent view of the world, and um, he struggles with trying to see all of this kind of negativity in his life because he has his mother who kind of leaves him in the house all day long. And he's kind of just raised by himself. He's stuck inside all the time. And he struggles with finding a way to view the world that isn't so negative. And the way that he's figured out how to do that is through comic books. And his favorite superhero is Captain Courage. And he views the world through this comic, and it kind of, this film is kind of the child's perspective on housing insecurity. So I think it's a unique view on it, and I worked really hard to try and make sure that this was through Luke's perspective and not just our outside grown-up perspective on the world.
I mean, absolutely. And all of that, I mean, who am I to say, but all of that absolutely came through. And I don't want to give anything away, but I especially loved how you did that coming from Luke's perspective with, yeah, something you added in the film that I don't think I've ever seen in a film. So well done all around to everyone involved. What was the inspiration for telling this story?
So I uh, grew up in um, a lot of low income areas in Rhode Island, and I worked in nonprofit organizations that served young kids who went through homelessness or housing insecurity, and I saw how it affected those kids. But more than just the negative side of it, I saw kind of the resilience and innocence that kids have that protect them from a lot of these kind of really negative things that happen in their life. So instead of viewing it from this, oh, my life's terrible, kids have this perspective of just like, um, you know, seeing the world through such a unique and wonderful lens that allows them to see the good in any situation. So, um, working in those environments and living in those environments, I wanted to be able to tell a story that wasn't just, what you see a lot of the time on TV, which is just irresponsible adults or the stereotypical view on housing insecurity, but more of an intimate story about a child.
Thank you for sharing. And speaking of the child, especially the one you have in this film, I mean, the whole cast is just incredible, but I was blown away by this young actor that you cast to play Luke. Can you tell me about finding the perfect actors to play these characters, and specifically about finding Christopher, who plays Luke in this film?
Yeah. So I was there's the old adage that you never work with animals or children on film sets. And while I was going through this process, I kept hearing over and over again how hard it's going to be working with a young performer. But when I put out the casting breakdown for Luke and Christopher auditioned, I was blown away. He is so mature and such an incredible actor and a joy to work with on set. He really kind of blew everyone away. And whether it was just him coming on set and just making everybody happy, cracking jokes, or it was at the end of a scene, him just looking at, whoever he was performing with and saying, wow, that was awesome. Like, it was so great to, work with you in that scene. And he was so courteous and kind and truly a joy to work with. There was nobody that I saw filling this role other than Christopher. And I'm glad that he was able to be encouraged because he brought something to it that, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, Christopher, if you're watching this or any of the cast members who are watching this, you all just, yeah, blew me away. It was so beautiful. And I've heard that too. Don't work with young actors or just children on set. It can get a little crazy and difficult. What was important when directing this and for you? And I know that you had a specific location as well. What kind of went into directing this film?
Yeah, so I think a big part of directing Courage was just trying to find the most authentic way to tell the story, an honest way. And from casting Ashley, Chris, and Ian to play these roles to kind of finding a location that fit the story the best. It was, the honesty of the story was really the biggest factor, and finding people that really could relate to the story to help tell it, and not just the actors, but the crew. A lot of people, I learned could connect with the story, and they gave something unique to it, no matter what their role on set was, to kind of help bring it to life in a true and real way. So that was the real important thing.
I mean, something about this film too, besides just all the elements being on top of it, and the story being so unique and powerful and sad, but yet beautiful, is that it's like a clean film. It just see I don't know what like watching it just was seamless. Like I really wanted to watch every single second, and it just was like I was like, this is a really great filmmaker. This was a graduate student film in college.
Yeah, this was a graduate film, but what I will say, and this is the second most important thing while directing this, was I told everybody on set, students or not, because we had a lot of people who weren't students working on set, but my motto was, this isn't a student film, this is a film that is made by students, which is two very different
Right.
kind of ways of working, at least from what I've seen, where, when you go into something saying this is a student film, a lot of times there's a lot of negative connotations or things that shouldn't be there. So I wanted kind of everybody, including myself, to view this like this should be a film. And
Yeah.
it should be a good film first. And the fact that, I'm a graduate student shouldn't impact, negatively how the story is being told. So, we went about it, and we had incredible cinematographer, incredible editors, and, everybody from a sound mixer and boom up to production assistant, they all brought something to the film that wasn't just, oh, this is a student film. And I've worked on sets outside of school. My day job is for NBC Universal out here in LA, so I didn't want to go from a professional production environment to a just thrown together last minute student film, because that's kind of that's what a lot of people think of, and that's not what the truth of the matter is. A lot of student films are great, whether they're undergraduate or graduate, and I just wanted to kind of showcase that.
Absolutely. And I found it so interesting reading your bio. You started your own filmmaking nonprofit for young adults?
Yeah. So
Amazing.
yeah, I started that when I was in college for undergraduate, and I just wanted to give young people the opportunities that I was given to be creative and pursue a career in the arts. So I started a nonprofit and was lucky enough to serve. By now I think it's 800 or 900 young people, and yeah, I just love seeing young people making films and being creative and learning and growing, and yeah, it's great.
I love that. And I mean, I'm interested in hearing, what do you love about storytelling? Is this film courage like many past projects that you've created? Is this something, working with young actors and stories like this, is this usual for you? Yeah, what do you love to tell in your films?
So for me, the most important thing is telling stories that are real, and based in reality. It doesn't necessarily mean that Luke is a real boy, and this is written about him. It's more of Luke represents a lot of real young people dealing with real issues, and in every story that I try to tell, I want to tell a story that is true for a lot of people, or that represents a something real, that people can connect with. And most of, I think, what I've made deals with some form of larger issue that I have some experience with, whether it's directly or indirectly, or just knowing people that have dealt with it. So, yeah, that it's important to tell honest stories.
I completely agree. And I mean, watching the film, I think I was like just blown away enjoying it, but I remember it was very emotional. But then hearing you speak, I'm realizing now that even though I didn't, if I could be a little personal, even though I didn't relate exactly to what Luke was going through and the financial, uh, things, issues that he was going through, I did relate to kind of having to distract yourself. And, as a kid, you use imagination and things to distract from things that are happening in your reality that you cannot process as a child. So I think it's really interesting that no matter who can watch this film, even if it's not the exact scenario that they can relate to, you still can really find yourself in this film. And I'm wondering what you hope audiences get out of watching Courage. I mean, you might have mentioned it a little bit, but yeah, what are your
Yeah.
hopes for this film?
Well, I hope one, it sheds light on a very important issue, which is housing insecurity. And I hope that when people watch it, um, I just my whole goal in filmmaking is to uh, selfishly kind of illustrate to the world um, what I see in the world, right? Or kind of how my perspective on certain issues, right? So um, I hope it's not just a kind of typical sad drama, but people can walk away with it and be kind of happy in seeing kind of the innocence of a child, and how strong that is and how powerful of a thing that is.
Mhm. Absolutely. And lastly, how did you hear about Garden State Film Festival, and how does it feel having Courage screen at the 22nd annual Garden State Film Festival?
Yeah, so I'm not originally from New Jersey, but when I started attending my MFA program there, I heard from so many students, faculty, professionals in the industry, kind of how great Garden State Film Festival is. And after hearing everybody kind of sing your praises. I wanted to make sure that since this was a film shot and kind of created in New Jersey, that I do my best to try and screen. So it's really an honor, and I'm incredibly proud of everybody who put their all into Courage, and grateful for everything that you guys at the Garden State Film Festival do for our filmmaking community. It means the world.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I mean, it really has been such a pleasure watching Courage, but then speaking to you, it was beautiful to pick your brain and to talk to you about Courage and the making of it. So thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. Let me tell everyone watching how you can see Courage. It will be screening Saturday, March 23rd in the Film Block, 8:30 to 10:15 p.m. at Cranford Theater. Definitely check it out. Get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. And Ryan, are you gonna make it to Garden State Film Festival to see the screening?
I'm certainly going to do my best, but I know that at least we will have somebody from our team be there, and yeah, it'll be a great
Represent.
time.
Amazing. Well, if you are there, I really hope to meet you. And thank you again and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. See you at the festival. Bye.
Bye.